So let's talk about the mental benefits, improving resilience and mood. I think one of the non-scientific ways to think about it, from like if all science was out the window, one of the greatest things about cold exposure is that you make yourself do something difficult, and therefore you build discipline and you build confidence and you build resilience. So that's kind of, to an extent, some of the resilience benefits. I know there's some more science a little bit behind that as well, but I know it helps improve mood as well. So kind of riff a little bit on what is actually happening when we do cold exposure and cold immersion that helps us to improve resilience and mood.
Yeah, well, just as you said, when you're standing over a barrel of ice or a cold plunge at 37 degrees, you've got two choices: either back off and you listen to your inner voice, or you step in and just take the plunge and you face your fear. So it's that moment, split decision that builds the confidence. So if you stack those on a daily basis, so if you're getting in the cold shower, getting in the cold plunge, it's like those small daily wins that add up and build the discipline and reinforces that identity. On the stress side of things, so on the scientific level of like stress resilience, the cold plunge is like a training ground for your mind. So when you get in the cold plunge, it's super stressful, you're hyperventilating, and you have to like override that with basically your mind and your body. So when you get in the cold plunge, you're hyperventilating, your sympathetic state is activated, which is fight or flight. Then after a minute and a half, you switch into the parasympathetic state. So that then you go into that restful, easy state where you're breathing deeply and you're in a meditative, calm state. Your muscles are relaxed, your breathing's deep, and your focus present. There's nothing in your head, and that system, that switch into that system helps translate into your day-to-day life. So when something pops up at work, or you've got an employee issue or a work issue, or someone cuts you off at work, then that cortisol spike is less like abrupt, and you're able to regulate yourself a lot easier because you've been basically training in a stressful environment, like on a regular basis in the cold, whether it's a shower or a cold plunge or an ice bath. So that's kind of like, it's basically trains your nervous system, to recap.
Gotcha. You said when you first get in, your sympathetic state is activated, that fight or flight, and then over time, your parasympathetic state of your nervous system kicks in. Is there like science with regards to how long that takes? And then when you do it over and over again, does the time of switching from one part of the nervous system to the other decrease? Like, do you have any idea about that kind of thing?
That's a great question. So, usually it takes, for the first time, it might take a bit longer, or 2 to 3 minutes for your body and mind to calm down. I see it for the first timers, it takes them a long time to like get through that stressful time. But as you do it more and more, and especially if you have an increased difficulty, then that time decreases. So as like an advanced cold plunger or advanced cold shower or ice bather, you want to increase the difficulty more and more. So you keep on adding the stress to your mind and body. So to do that, you decrease the temperature, or you increase the time, or if you've got a cold bath or a cold tub, you can do things to increase the difficulty, where you can move your body to reduce the thermal layer. That makes it harder. You can head dunk. It activates the mammalian dive reflex. It's the most like sensitive part in your body, your face and your head. You can submerge your hands. You can get up and get back in. So there's like a lot of different ways that you can add more stress to it if you get to that level. But yeah, for me, I've been cold plunging for 60 days straight recently. So I have noticed what you said, like the time does decrease. I get in, I lose my breath for like a few seconds, and then I remain like I'm more calm. Whereas when you just first start, you're jumping into 37-degree water, it's going to take a long time to get to that equilibrium state. So it's just training.
Yeah. No, I love it. And I love how you already dove into some of kind of the ways that you make it more difficult, as if people who are listening who've never jumped into 37-degree water, you won't want to find ways to make it all that more difficult in the beginning, but then over time, the more and more you can't ever really master it, right? There's an infinite number of ways that you can probably continue to make it more difficult.